Good morning, SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I'm Kortensia.
We're going to take a brief look at the weather. It's going to be partly sunny skies. Yes, I'm saying it correctly. No really today. Partly sunny skies with a 20% or slight chance of a brief passing shower. A high of 86 degrees and a low of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So all in all, really good day.
A good day, yeah.
Doesn't that make you feel good?
Yeah, with the cool breeze as well, because we've been having a cold front that's blowing in. So at least by 3:34, I don't know if you realize, the breeze is very cold.
Oh, wow, yeah. Wow. Meteorologist, please, in the making. Meteorologist, love it. And do we have the backdrop to support this? We need the cold front, we need the breeze, we need the time check, we need to know what the weather is like every hour, perhaps, graphs, maybe tomorrow.
I'll give you one. So how are you feeling this morning?
I'm okay, yeah. Honestly. And you?
Me too, with 3 hours of sleep, I'm at my best.
You're at your best. You're a morning person.
I slept yesterday afternoon by the hooks of the crooks at 4:30. I woke up at 8:24.
Well, it helps that we talked about sleep yesterday, so who knows what we'll talk about today. We'll see.
And now for the latest in local news, this from SKNIS. A 30-member delegation headed by Minister of Education, Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable John L. Powell, left St. Kitts and Nevis on Monday, March 14th to participate in Expo 2020 being held in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. The delegation includes the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Valencia Snyder, the 15 winners of the Youth Empowerment Department's essay competition, 4 students, and Principal Miguel Thomas of the Verchilds High School, chaperones and other officials. While in Dubai, the delegation will be kept busy with activities that will immerse them in the rich history and culture of the United Arab Emirates. They will also be exposed to experiences that showcase dishes, entertainment, technology, arts and culture, and much more from the 192 countries at the country's pavilion section of the expo. So they'll be coming back with lots of knowledge to share with us here at St. Kitts.
I love it. Delegation, some young people there, so it'll be interesting to get their take on what the culture and the experiences are like when they get back.
And two, I'm loving how these field trips are no longer just to the breweries. They're over the seas,
Sounds
literally.
Like you're jealous.
Not at all. I'm happy for the advancement.
Don't worry, you can always take a field trip to Nevis. And that leads us to our next story. By way of Nevis Island Administration's press release, Her Honor Hailita Liebert, Deputy Governor General on Nevis, and the Honorable Mark Brantley, Premier of Nevis, planted ornamental plants at Government House on March 14, 2022, as a symbolic gesture to mark the annual Commonwealth Day celebration. Commonwealth Day 2022 was celebrated among the 54 member countries of the Commonwealth with the theme, Delivering a Common Future. In a brief comment, the Deputy Governor General said the gesture was in keeping with the celebration of Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee. Her Honor Hailita Liebert said, "We planted these trees in commemoration of the Platinum Jubilee 2022. We are happy for the Queen and all she has done, so we just want to celebrate her, and we have these trees to mark the commemoration of that 70 years. In addition, Mr. Brantley spoke of the significance of the tree planting in celebration of the Queen's 70th year on the throne. He said, quote, "This is part of the Queen's Green Canopy initiative, and it is, of course, our own way of commemorating this significant milestone. Queen Elizabeth II is obviously the titular head of government, or head of state, as we continue to be a constitutional monarchy in terms of our governance structure. She's represented here by the Governor General, and of course in Nevis by our Deputy Governor General. And so it was fitting to plant these trees here on the grounds of the Government House," end quote. Green canopy.
Yeah, you think the Queen's into trees?
Well,
must be, right?
She's a Green Canopy initiative, so I would hope so. Yes, I think she is.
We continue now with our third story. This from Wind Media. 6 of 7 new traffic lights installed last year will be turned on coming March 22nd, according to an engineer with the Department of Public Works, George Gilbert, during Traffic Talk on March the 14th broadcast of Island T on Wind. This decision followed a test of the 6 intersections last Thursday, March 10th, which included testing the sensors, pedestrian crossing time, the sequence of lights, and generally the timing of the lights. Gilbert said, "Now, what we did on Thursday, March 10th, we actually turned on the light just to test them to ensure that the bulbs were working The synchronizing was done. The walk time came on. We ensured that the sensors were picking up what they were supposed to pick up. The GPS was working. We went through the 6 signals with the police, and we are satisfied that they are working. The lights will be turned on in the following areas: the junction of Wellington Road and Dickinson Street at the gas station, Upper College Street, Gut and Keon Street, Lower College Street, Gut and Bay Road, Port Zante West, Ram Supermarket, Forecourts, Port Zante East, Sands Complex, and 6 Sandown Road and the Bay Road. So
that's a lot of testing. That's a lot of work. I'm hoping that they're working. They should be after all of that, don't you think?
well, he did say they worked. So yeah. So now it's all about the lights.
Yes.
All about the lights.
And safety. And pedestrians. Yeah.
Yeah, we can no longer run across the road, but we could.
You could run across the road. Don't even talk about that. By the way, I got to put this out there. I was driving the other day, and 2 different occasions, pedestrians literally ran across the road. They did not have the light. The light was green. We're about to go. I hit the brake, and the guy next to me, because there's 2 lanes of traffic, the guy next to me decides to go, and he's forced to stop because there is a pedestrian just taking his time. And it happened twice.
Oh, wow.
No.
So pedestrians, please be careful and follow the instructions of the lights. They're here to keep you safe. We don't see vehicles in hospitals.
Well, that's the point, although, you know, I guess they want to get there. I think we need to call them pedestrian lights. Maybe that would help. A suggestion.
You're watching Good Morning SKN. We will be back after this short commercial break.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
You are watching Good Morning SKN on Studio 327. We now move on to the latest in regional news. Electric cars tax breaks, but new alternate levy from Barbados today. Just as Barbadians have a right to education, homeowners will have the right to install photovoltaic systems on their roofs to produce up to 10 kilowatts of energy, eliminating the burden of a bureaucracy of processing tens of thousands of applications. Moreover, a 2-year tax holiday is starting next month to cut the cost of electric and hybrid vehicles to incentivize Barbadians to purchase these cars. In her first budget presentation in 2 years, Prime Minister Mia Mottley outlined her government's aggressive push towards renewable energy to reduce dependence on imported fossil fuels and to meet the country's strategic goal of carbon neutrality 2030. However, anticipating revenue loss due to the measure, Mottley announced a new alternate fuel levy of $25 per month or $300 annually for vehicles not powered by diesel or gasoline from July. As a result, the government will require the re-registration of all electric vehicles on the island. With the conflict in the Ukraine following Russia's invasion of that country, global energy prices are rising steadily, and Mottley said it was critical to swiftly increase the island's green energy capacity. I love the way that she's getting ahead of it.
That woman is just the boss.
Well, she is the Prime Minister, isn't she?
I know, but she's just a boss.
Boss lady.
Yeah.
In our region, yeah.
We continue now with the international news. This from Al Jazeera. Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan has welcomed a decision by the United Nations General Assembly to approve a resolution setting March 15th as International Day to Combat Islamophobia. The resolution, adopted on Tuesday by consensus by the 193-member world body and co-sponsored by 55 mainly Muslim countries, emphasizes the right to freedom of religion and belief and recalls a 1981 resolution calling for the elimination of all forms of intolerance and of discrimination based on religion or belief. The resolution was introduced by Pakistan on behalf of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the OIC. It marks the day when a gunman entered two mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand, killing 51 people and injuring 40 others. In a tweet on Tuesday evening, Khan congratulated Muslims around the world as our voice against the rising tide of Islamophobia has been heard. Khan posted, "Today, UN has finally recognized the grave challenge confronting the world of Islamophobia, respect for religious symbols and practices, and of curtailing systematic hate speech and discrimination against Muslims. Next challenge is to ensure the implementation of this landmark resolution."
Great way to end the news.
Yep.
There you have it for the latest.
The fight continues.
But always. There you have it for the latest. We'll be back in a moment with more Good Morning SKN. Stay tuned.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Did you know that there are certain seasonings that contain more salt than you actually need? There are more natural, healthier ways to reduce the salt intake in your dishes by using natural things like onions, garlic, seasoned peppers, and even thyme and merengue powder.
going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who can support me and my child? My man gone jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen? Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Children, how can you tell a tsunami coming?
Teacher me.
Sammy?
My mother said when uncle jump in the pool and the water spoosh out, that's how you tell a tsunami coming.
Settle down, children, settle down. Do you remember our tsunami song?
Yes! When you feel it shaking and it's moving around, you see the ocean gone like the fish on the sand. You should run, the higher ground, a tsunami soon come.
Mommy, Uncle not here and the other shake.
Hush your mouth.
Daddy, Uncle not here and the sea gone.
Who cares? You don't see all them free fish? Quick, give me the bag.
This is how you tell a tsunami I come. Teacher says so. I would have failed in school, you know.
Sammy, come, let me go. They would have failed anyhow. Let me run, see, Sammy.
When you feel the earth shaking and it's moving all around, you see the ocean gone like the fish on the sand. You should run,
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. The St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee is a not-for-profit, non-governmental sporting organization. The committee was established by Constitution on the 27th of May, 1986. This organization is governed by a 9-member executive whose current president is Mr. Alfonso Bridgewater. Today, Mr. Bridgewater will be joining us to tell us more about the recent developments undertaken by the association, but before he does, we are actually going to take a look at the history of our participation in the Olympics. The Olympic motto in Latin is Citius Altius Fortius, meaning in English, faster, higher, stronger. It was coined by Father Henri Didon, and it was adopted by the International Olympic Committee in 1894. In 1996, this was the first time that St. Kitts and Nevis sent representation to the Olympics, and it was held from July 19th to August 4th, 1996 in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We're now going to look at some of the photos, and I guess I'll get to put Kortensia on the spot as she tries to figure out who.
We will see.
Identify. I think that's an impossible shot. I
think I can only see one person in there that I can recognize.
You can recognize that. Let's go, please.
Maybe Kim Collins?
If you can see Kim Collins,
I think. I'm not sure.
Then you are a boss.
Look, Kim Collins is on the end again, this side.
Did I mention yesterday that you were from another world? You've got mad skills.
I told you.
Yes.
See? I told you he was there. Isn't that him right there? Exactly.
Yes, he's there. He's among, he's among many others, in fact. Some of the names we can make out. Mara Wigley. Diane Dunwood Francis.
I know Diane.
Oh, yeah.
See, I told you I saw Kim. I saw him in 2 pictures, the green and white and the batik. Oh wow. I think it's had good representation. I'm trying to figure out if I can only recognize Diane at the top of my left. I don't seem to recognize anyone else in the shot.
The faces, yeah, I do recognize one or two faces, yes. So in 2000, 2 athletes were chosen to represent us in the Summer Olympics, which were held from the 15th of September to the 1st of October in Sydney, Australia, New South Wales. Let's have a look at this clip.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that athlete though. Yes, that's our call in the end, right? The group
yes,
they
it
bred
is.
in, yeah. Is that Virgil? Okay. Oh.
Oh, you're good. You got it.
The man himself. The man himself.
A very young Kim Collins.
2004, 2 athletes. Wait, oh no. 2004 Olympic Games took place August the 13th to the 29th, I do apologize, and were held in Athens, Greece.
Oh, so this was the shot from
Greece? Okay. And as we notice Virgil, so we can identify Virgil for St. Kitts. Go St. Kitts. 2007, St. Kitts and Nevis attended the Special Olympics held October the 2nd to the 11th in Shanghai, China. Oh, we got 5 gold medals, we got 5 silver medals, and we got 5 bronze. We did well.
Yeah.
Oh, Carl, I know Carl. Goes to my church. Did I say we lick about Talawa?
I guess. I guess you can say that.
We came back with something. Go, Virgil. 2008. Team of 4 attended the 2008 Summer Olympics held in Beijing from the 8th to the 24th of August. Kim Collins was able to advance to the finals. Putting St. Kitts on the map once again. Okay, I see Virgil again. Oh, I know that lady.
And we're moving on to 2012. A team of 4 attended the London 2012 Olympic Games that took place in July 27th to August 12th, 2012. In the 4x100 meter relay, Delwayne Delaney, British Lawrence, Jason Rogers, and Lestrade Rowland set a national record and placed 6th in their heat, but did not advance to the finals. And although Kim Collins was in attendance, he was unable to participate in his event.
As Delwyn said, he's retired.
Yes, indeed.
The 2015 Special Olympics World Summer Games were held in Los Angeles, United States from July the 25th to August 2nd, 2015. Our Special Olympians medaled as customary and were featured, one in particular, our gold medalist in tennis, Deontay Foster. It was during those games in Atlanta where Deontay won gold medals for tennis that he sought medical treatment for a swollen knee. Follow-up exam revealed stage 4 osteosarcoma bone cancer. Oh, that went through my system. That required leg amputation as a means to save his life. Foster and his family were devastated, and he said that just stepping onto the tennis court would make him emotional. Thanks to the teamwork of the Special Olympics community and the Louisville Prosthetics, Deontay was able to travel on United Airlines donated flights to Louisville, where his fitness prosthetic leg was provided and fitted free of cost to him. Volunteers from Special Olympics Kentucky hosted his stay. His visit was packed with a full recovery schedule, including meeting Morgan Turner, a Special Olympics Kentucky athlete with 2 prosthetic limbs. Yeah, I heard of his story.
Yeah, tragic indeed.
So there is a silver lining at the end of his cloud.
Yeah, most definitely. Wow. In 2016, the Rio de Janeiro was the location of the 2016 Olympic Games that took place from August 5th to 21st, 2016. At 40 years old and his 5th consecutive Olympics, Kim Collins finished 6th in his heat, but wasn't able to advance to the finals. There he is. Still got it though, gotta say, finishing 6th.
And that's among the toughest.
Indeed.
2019, this was the year for the Special Olympics, and medals were again won by our athletes. The games were held in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, from March 14th to the 21st of 2019. The medal count was 3 gold, 2 silver, and 3 bronze. Congratulations once again to our Special Olympians.
And of course, as we know, in 2020, we were delayed by the current pandemic.
Yep.
So the Olympics were held from July 23rd to August 8th, 2021, but still referred to as the 2020 Olympics. That's true. An anomaly, but true. We all know why. It was held in Tokyo, Japan, and we had 2 athletes in attendance.
Like the Dubai Expo
They're there.
being called 2020 2 years later.
Yes, very true.
That's Jason Rogers. Okay. And Amaya. Yeah, I remember Amaya Clark. Yeah. I swear the entire St. Kitts were glued to their TVs. You could hear the screams.
Well, viewers, we want to thank you for taking this journey with us, and we'll see you after the break. Stay tuned.
各位朋友，大家好. Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
Consuming foods like bananas, potatoes, and dried peas and beans, such as lentils and kidney beans, contains potassium, which helps to reduce salt in the body.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
As a hypertensive patient, in my home, I reduce salt intake by not adding salt during the preparation of my food, not having a salt shaker on my table, limiting the consumption of salty snacks, and choosing products with low sodium content. That's why I am salt smart.
And we're back on Good Morning SKN. In our previous segment, we spoke all about the participation of our local athletes in the Olympics. Now we have the pleasure of speaking with the president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee, Mr. Alfonso Bridgewater. The St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee is a not-for-profit, non-governmental sporting organization. Today, Mr. Bridgewater will tell us all about the recent developments undertaken by the committee. So I see there's a beautiful new building that is being erected, or it looks like it's completed, that is located at Taylor's. Can you tell us if it's completed or not?
You want me to, let me pause for a while. First of all, to say, commend you
congratulate you on this new information and education institution, I call it.
Ooh.
I'm impressed with what I've seen by coming into the studio to vote. So for all those who had anything to do with it, I want to commend them.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, there's a story behind that building that you see in there. I think there are a number of people who are involved in sports would recall having to run the office from the back of the car or from a room in the house, all the papers and so on. We moved on from that. The Olympic Committee started with an office down at Church Street, which we call Olympic Place, in Charles Wilkin Building on Church Street. We purchased a residential property on Taylor's Range and adjusted it to suit our offices. So we moved from Olympic Place to Olympic House on Taylor's Range. Now the recent renovations and expansion that you did have allowed us to move from Olympic Place at Church Street to Olympic House on Taylor's Range. We're still on Taylor's Range, but it's now Olympic headquarters. So yes, it's a property which we bought in the region of $370,000. Now it's worth at least $1.6 million. But it's, and we don't know anybody. We don't know the banks, we own nobody for it. In fact, I had quite an experience in banking. We went into the bank to get some money in the region. We always knew we'll have the money to pay. And I went to the bank, and less than 3 months after, I went back to the bank, which bank will be nameless for now, and said, look, we come to pay you. And they said, hold on, not so fast. You can't pay off a loan under 3 months, with good reason. So that building you see in there, phase 1 is completed.
Okay.
So we are actually relocated and we are settling in, and it has the secretariat offices and upscaled a bit, and we have the director's office, conference room. We have places which allow for people with different abilities to enter and things like that. All the things that the National Emergency Office would want us to do in terms of exit, and so the fire people want to do exit. So that will be phase 1. And we are opening up phase 1 on April the 7th, 5 o'clock. That's the official opening ceremony, when we will be graced with the presence of a member of the International Olympic Committee and the president of the Pan Am Sports. The president of Pan Am Sports, actually, we wanted him there because he's one of the major sponsors. He provided as much as $400,000 to the project. And the Olympic Committee itself, the International Olympic Committee, is where we got the funding to do some of the things on inside equipment, generators, new furniture and things of that nature. So he'll be coming with his director of communications, I can't do out your people, and then his chief executive officer, and we'll have that particular function for which you'll get your invitation.
Thank
as
you.
well. So that's April 7th at 5 p.m. at the site itself.
So that's quite a significant achievement. Congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
When we talk about that and listening to you speak, I'm understanding now that there is machinery behind the SKNOC, so you've lifted the veil a little bit. I want you to delve a little deeper, if you can, as to the workings that the organization has with the international community, other international organizations, and what it means for us as you continue to foster those relationships.
The best way to appreciate this is to talk in terms of the structure. The superstructure, the parent body would be the International Olympic Committee with some 206 member countries, the National Olympic Committee. Even though their National Olympic Committees are associated with countries, as you said at the beginning, they're non-profit, independent.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes we get into trouble. You're representing St. Kitts and so on. In fact, if, for example, we get into trouble, if, for example, the International Olympic Committee president comes to visit, he comes and we invite the Prime Minister, and he really comes to the president of just to show you to the extent, comes to the president of the organization as opposed to, but we show deference, basically, and then allow, as we are brought up by our grandparents, you know. So there's that structure 206, and they have an executive, and they have members of that. That's where all the decisions are made with respect to all those 206. But then they divide that particular structure along 5 continents. You have the Americas, you have North America, you have Europe, you have Asia, and you have Australasia. We belong to the Pan-American region, which is just another name for saying North America and the Caribbean.
Okay.
Right? So, and they are the ones who fund us, fund participation in the game. Where did I get their funding? Again, to come back to people like you, from the broadcasting rights. So they sell the broadcasting rights to NBC or whoever, and so they bid for it, and you get it. And that they then break up into portions based on how many athletes you have. And they have a host of some 20 programs. Some of the programs are related to promoting the ideals, principles, and values of the Olympic Committee. Some of them are promoted to funding participation in games. So in other words, the training and so on that the athletes do, we make an application, they bring money specific for training. Some of the funding is provided to museum development. And as I say, museum development, the succeeding phase of the building you have here would be an Olympic sports museum, and then we'll install a escalator, elevator to go up. We haven't been above. We will have space to build. We haven't quite decided what we're going to do yet. That's the second phase. But the museum. But in the short term, we'll have what we call a e-museum, so people could see. On the day of the opening, you'll get a glimpse of what the museum may have in artifacts and pictures and so. At the beginning of your program, I saw you showing some things. I don't know where you stole them, but you were doing better than me at remembering some of the names of the people associated with the pictures. So you have that. And the competitions, the apex is really participation in the Olympic Games. Everything is done but then you have a Pan-American Games, you have the Asian Games, you have all these, which are precedents to the Olympic Games. So they tend to be qualifiers, so you get qualifying times to be able to participate. Previously, it was easy to enter the games, but if they just wanted, which is one of their objectives, and many people as possible to participate, universality they call it, in the sense that of the 206 countries, they want them to participate in some way. But if everybody were to participate, the games would never be over. So they introduce qualifying times. And just to give you a sense, the people used to be able to get into the 100 meters previously, about 24 or 48%. Now, when you qualify, only the best 16 in the world goes. The best 16 in the world. And it's getting tighter. Swimming it's getting very tight.
She's doing that because she knows I can't swim. We'll get back to that a little later. Thank you so much for shedding light on that. We'll be back in a moment to talk with you more.
If you gradually use less salt, you will gradually want less salt. Eating less salty foods will reduce your cravings for salty foods. Let's get salt smart.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom. But my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You not live clean. Your girl at 16 and your daughter at 13. So girl look me, but me know in that big man no deal with back pan back.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Children, how can you tell a tsunami coming?
Teacher me.
Sammy?
My mother said, when uncle jump in the pool and the water spoosh out, that's how you tell a tsunami coming.
Settle down, children, settle down. Do you remember our tsunami song?
Yes! When you feel it shaking and it's moving around, you see the ocean gone left with fish on the sand. You should run to hide on, a tsunami soon come.
Mommy, uncle not here in the other shake.
Hush your mouth.
Daddy, Uncle not here and the sea gone.
Who cares? You don't see all them free fish? Quick, give me the bag.
This is how you tell us tsunami a come. Teacher says so. I would have failed in school, you know.
Sammy, come, let me go. They would have failed anyhow. Let me run, see Sammy.
Thank you for staying with us and welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are speaking with Alfonso Bridgewater, President of the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee. In our previous segment, we noted that St. Kitts and Nevis first attended the Olympics in 1996. Were you a part of the committee at that time? And even if you were not, were you always an avid sportsman? What was it like in preparing for that for the first time?
1996, of course, it was the Centennial Games as well, and in Atlanta. It was the celebration of the 100th year of the formation of the Olympic Committee, which got started in 1896. You made reference to that, going back to the days of Pierre de Coubertin. Lots of memories. So yes, I was a part. Okay. There was a lot of energy. I remember us doing all sorts of, it actually is the largest contingent we ever carried since. It's about 10 persons. I saw you had up some pictures there, the Allen sisters, there's Kim Collins, there was a host of people. That particular, with that green and stuff like that was the first time. I could still picture in my mind the famous Muhammad Ali coming out, because he was the one who lit the flame with his trembling hands and so on, but quite a picture. I could still picture President Clinton, who was the one there in terms of the games. It was really a nervous beginning for us, but we did well in the sense of just being present. And we weren't ashamed of our performance, so to speak. We have attended every single game since that, 1996, then you had 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016 to 21.
21, I was just going to tell you.
I always found it strange that they still wanted to call it 2020. I have a way of saying 2020 plus one.
Oh, well, see, 2020 was the boss year, so it continues to be the boss year.
And I think in your field, again, you'll pick it up. All the things are already labeled 2020, so they didn't want to change it. They did. Like I said, it was the largest contingent, but we got our feet wet, so to speak, after that, and we got a sense, you know.
Good stuff.
Progressing from 1996 onward, do you think, looking back at that time, that you've seen growth in the committee, growth in the athletes, growth in the quality that they produce?
You've seen growth, but like everything else in St. Kitts and Nevis, it's almost like you have seasons, up, down, up, down. One of the things which bug us here is not yet because of voluntary organizations, you can't seem to keep a steady pace for about 2 quadrennials. By quadrennials, I mean 2 4-year periods, because the games come every 4. You have changes in organization leadership, or just in motivation. Because a lot of things come into effect for that, because the key to our athletes to perform at that level, you really can't get an athlete performing at elite competition level for the Olympic Games and the Commonwealth Games and the Pan American Games unless there's some gift from God or some freak. Minimum 8 years you want to develop the particular athlete, minimum. And so we have been particularly upfront in track and field and so on. So one season you have some people come to, another season you have other people going through it. So what tends to help us a lot is the student athlete program, where people go to the States to study, and we basically bank on that. They participate in collegiate competitions and that type of thing. That's where they get. Because you are also challenged locally. If you get a Kim Collins, you get a Amaya Clark, you get a Jason Rogers locally, you get, what's his name, the other elite athletes. After a while, the gap between them and the local is so much that the competition is that they need to go out to compete. And so you're up against a challenge. So there's a seasonality in terms of one day you're here, the next day you're here, and the money to do that. I hear a lot of complaint from the public, and I suspect they do get some some words from the athletes who said that they never seem to have enough money. But again, that's an issue because when you get funding from the International Olympic Committee, it comes very specific. This is for that, this is for that. And in addition to that, we have to provide accountability to everything we do. In fact, the International Olympic Committee, as they have done previously, the Pan Am Sports Organization, as they have done previously, will wake up one morning and understand that there's an external auditor at the office who comes to check our books. So everything we do at account. And one of the issues with our athletes is that they can't understand if you give them $10,000. We provide them, say, look, you don't have to account for this. Whatever you do with that, that's up to you. But for this portion of it, you have to account. They can't get into the habit of providing us with the receipts and that type of thing. So it poses a problem because we then don't get any further funding unless we account for that particular money. But we get pretty creative of finding ways, and the international bodies, we build up a relationship where the trust is there. So sometimes when we ask to do things that don't normally be the case, say, look, we have this particular athlete, they will accommodate us. But if somebody's going to trust you that much, it's even more reason to account to them properly. And sometimes we have a real challenge getting that across to first of all, to the national federation of which the athlete is a part and to the athlete themselves.
Challenging.
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, I am glad that you're here shedding light on that. It says to me that as someone with your experience, you've seen changes over time, so you would be able to say what the future of the Olympic Committee would look like, what it can lend itself to, how it can lend itself rather to the development of young athletes. Where do you see the future?
First of all, the teachers in schools may be fed up of hearing it because they always seem to be thinking they're teaching the French, they don't have no time for anything else, and everybody says we have to start in the schools. Yes, we have to start in the schools, but to me, it's not during the school hours itself. It's after school. The school hours is basically to expose people and say, this is what you could do other than you. But the after school for sports is where it's going to. You were asking earlier about my background in sports and so on. Generally, I played them all. There was a season I've been evening netball, basketball, cricket, soccer. I played them all. And I played at national level side basically, and coach and so on. So, first of all, and then you pick out people from there. Looking ahead, I want to see the national federations being a little less reluctant than they are now to be able to identify people and focus on them. And so these are the 16 players that we're looking at now. Other people could come in, and those who are part of the 16 could come out if they're falling behind. I would want to see coaches and people in National Federation. If I'm a track and field coach, I go to a basketball game, but I go to a basketball game with an eye and a focus for a fellow who could jump and then pick up. Even if I dry him away from basketball, that's a problem. Because I'll be selling him. You know what you could do if you come track and field, you could get a scholarship, this, that, and that, and you have to spend the time. You have to get engaged with the family too, the parents and the guardians of to get that particular thing going. So I want to see a little more effort in that. The other thing I want to see, the sports people tend to be very singular in their thinking in terms of leadership. The singularity that they have helps them in terms of focusing on competing at the best. But it comes to their detriment sometimes when they have the leadership of the organization. So I think it's only one of them could lead. And I think there's a lot of talent out there with people who aren't necessarily playing sports, but could help them with the administration, because the on-the-field performance can be so way ahead of the administration or vice versa. Otherwise, one would fall short of the other. You wouldn't be able to progress. And there have been times when the administration and management have been too far ahead. The gap is too wide. And there have been times when the athletes have been too far ahead. The gap, again, in that instance was too wide. We need to have a more happy medium as far as that is concerned. And then, of course, we have to look at identify opportunities that when we truly say that the athletes are the focus of what we're doing, we could identify specific, measurable things which demonstrate that that is actually true. And one of the ways we're thinking of doing that is to have on our executive an athlete representative with the right to vote. We have already done that via appointment. Ms. Virgil Hall is the one we have done by appointment. But we want to move to the point where we have an athletes commission. They meet on their own, elect their own person. Whoever that person is as chair would have a vote on the executive committee, and they represent the interests of so that's one of the things we're planning to look forward as well. The other thing is, people say it all the time, that we tend to focus a lot in terms of participation in the elite competitions on track and field. Track and field has a glamour of its own. There's no sport in the world going to beat track and field in terms of participation because it doesn't cost you anything. Football, you at least got to buy a ball, and that's the next one. Track and field, we run into school, running, jumping. You don't have to buy a thing, so everybody could get into it. Yeah. If you reach a certain level, you gotta get your track shoes, of course, and do other things. But to get in at the ground level, you don't have to do a thing. So track and field will be always out there. And when you have Kim Collins and you have Jason and you have this and that, and you've seen them all the time, you tend to focus on that. So much so that the big challenge you have in St. Kitts and Nevis, you can't get people focusing on too many other field events or things outside the short sprints. It's quite a challenge to even get some of our organizations, the executive had to really be pulling teeth to even encourage our volleyballers. Say, look, now, there's quite a challenge for you to beat North America, Cuba, and these teams in North America, Cuba, and so. Why not you don't shift your focus to beach volleyball? They have done that for 2 or 3 years, and they've been competing, not at the elite level yet, but they've been competing and learning. So again, and we are encouraging, because of the geography and the area of the world we are, to force our federations to get more and more involved in some of the beach formats of the game as well. So those are the areas where I think I see us going in the future.
We're going to have to invite you back to shed even more light on that, because this is a wealth of information that you're sharing, and I'm sure that not only do we appreciate it, but our viewers do as well. Mr. Alfonso.
If I didn't say it already, after today, you don't have to invite me back. Invite yourself. I basically consider after today, you've done enough non-verbal marketing to say, I accept you as family.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. We've been talking with Mr. Alfonso Bridgewater, president of the SKNOC. We'll be back with more Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
Self-health management refers to the measures people take to manage their own health. You and I should remember to wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Take your temperature morning and evening. Watch for symptoms. Persons with diabetes or hypertension are reminded to take your medication regularly as prescribed. If you have no symptoms, you may carry out your normal routine and boost your immune system. When you are outside, avoid public spaces and wear a mask at all times. If you develop symptoms, put on a mask and seek medical care. Do not take public transportation. Inform the doctor of your travel history, any contact with confirmed or suspected cases, your occupation, and whether anyone around you has similar symptoms. If you become ill, please rest at home. Wear a mask and isolate yourself from others in your household. If you share a bathroom, disinfect daily using 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. Everyone must work together to reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
Do you know that common baked goods such as bread and crackers are high in salt? Get Salt Smart.
Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. It's Women's History Month, and all month long we have been discussing this international observance of women's achievements and contributions to society. It's now time for us to loosen up, and as we do, we will share with each other and you, women who have had the greatest impact on our lives. Kortensia.
Well, I said the women that has had the greatest impact on our lives. I always say Harriet Tubman. I ain't going to the back of no bus. My former co-workers at Island Hopper. I like Oprah and Michelle Obama. Whom else? Jowley. Gardenia, she's always quiet and nice. And now I can add Alicia to the mix.
The Vanna White.
Yeah, I would say Alani and Oksana as well, because they bring. I just love the youth of today. So I'm inspired by them as well, and of course my lovely makeup artist Sharina.
Boy.
So those are just a few of the women that influenced me.
Just in case you missed it at home, what Kortensia just did is that she listed all of the women who work at Studio 327.
I did.
That's a safe bet. the greatest impact.
Even if I was trying to be discreet, he let me out. This is why we're gonna swim across the Nevis. Me and you.
We're gonna swim across. I'm not swimming anywhere with you. All right, that means yeah. First of all, because I can't swim. So women who've had the greatest impact on my life, I would have to start with my family. Mm-hmm. So my mom, my grandmother, my Aunt Marion, my Aunt Helen, my Aunt Kay, all the women in my family who I've seen, how do I put this? Motivate, nurture, culture me and all the other young group people in our family. Yeah. It's just great to watch. And there's that unity, so I understood what family is and what family does. As I'm moving out of that, I would have to say I have been truly inspired by women like Michelle Obama, as you said. I see her as a modern, strong Black woman who understands elegance, who understands grace, and who is representative of, at the risk of being controversial, and I really hope I'm not going to be, at the risk of representing Blackness that was not necessarily portrayed in the way that it really is as we know it to be, as opposed to all of the negative connotations that Blackness tends to be represented as. And so I say definitely, you look at that, those terms in the White House where there were no scandals.
None.
There was just respect.
Utmost.
Representing Blackness, elegance, class, education, dignity. I tell you.
Her heart was big.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had a really big heart.
Yeah.
So it's only Michelle on the exterior other than the women in your family? No other women?
Well, if I have to think of women that inspired me, obviously I'll keep it close to home because I've mentioned Toni Frederick Armstrong before as someone who has been very nurturing. And every time I say it, and I say to her, you know what, you're responsible for a lot of things when it came to my introduction to media, she says, no, that's not me, that's you. And I say, but it wouldn't be possible if it were not for you. So to Toni, thank you, love you loads, appreciate that.
We both love you loads.
You know, to my friend Dawn Mills, who is just a life force, a source of positivity, and a source of such guidance. Love her a lot as well. There are countless women that I think that we can look at.
Yeah.
So it's Women's History Month. We look at that. Broader scale, I'll say Soledad O'Brien. And I don't know if you know who Soledad O'Brien is. As someone who, okay, right, as someone who,
but right now, no.
as someone who watched CNN a lot, this is where
okay.
News is one of those things that I do as a hobby. I'm telling you, I look at that and I go, news, okay, this is great, and the way that they're covering it is great, and the angles, or I would criticize and I say, but you know, you need to be a little more open. But what I liked about Soledad is that she represented minorities, right? Because she is a mix. I think she might be Cuban and Australian. I think that might be it. I stand to be corrected, but yes. So she's a woman of color, but she was also a very strong woman. She was also a very opinionated woman. She was also a very analytical woman. When she did that series on Black in America and its investigative journalism and the stories that she's getting to and the heart that she's getting to. And even when she was on the morning show and she's just articulating and asking a guest who is there with nobody in opposition to his or her opinion, she takes the other side and she says, well, what about this? Have you considered that? And I said, this is a level of intelligence and criticism that ought to be embraced. And it's great that she's a woman, but I didn't see that. I just saw the greatness that she embodied, which is interesting because I know that we're talking about Women's History Month and it's great to celebrate women. But for me, I don't even see women. I see the individual and I see what you're doing. So it's good that you can celebrate it as women. Kudos to you if that's what you need in order to be seen. That's good. But at the end of it, for me, it's what do you bring to it? What are you doing? So, yeah.
Fair enough. But as I said, from, what was it, since the 1400s, we've been making strides and we continue to make strides. And we continue to have powerful women, as Kamala Harris said, and I quote, she may be the first woman in office, but she certainly won't be the last. So,
yeah, you've got
powerful women.
You've got trailblazers, let's call them that, trailblazers. You mentioned Harriet Tubman, and I'm sure we're getting the glamorous version of exactly what happened in the Underground Railroad. And we see all these things that people have had to overcome. We see people embracing women as leaders. And it leads to good. Let's be realistic, it does lead to good. We men don't have, and I say we men, not women, we men don't have all of the answers. And I shudder to think that there are those of us who still think in one way, shape, or form that it is a male-dominated world, because I don't think that you can have the structure that supports men at the top were it not for women either. And I believe that in lifting that veil, as I like to say, and looking at the support structures, we ought to recognize that you don't necessarily have to be in the forefront to be a leader. You can be leading in your little corner wherever you are. And even though you are supporting the man who's, might be unfavorable, I'll say, the man whose position some women are eyeing, which is fine too, because maybe you've never been in that position, you're still dominating where you are. And that's important too. So we see you and we thank you.
I also have to mention this. I heard it somewhere that most of the countries that managed the COVID-19 pandemic well were led by women. So I had to put that in there.
You have to put that in there.
Yeah.
We're going to do some research and find out whether there are commonalities in the way that women think and whether that leads to, you know, certain other things that tend to do that better, or whether it's just a case where the way that you speak to each other allows people to listen to you as opposed to some other type of thing. I don't know what it is, but we'll try to figure it out. Age-old mystery.
Yeah, so don't forget the May Motleys, the Angela Merkel. See, all good women, leaders. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we've got some good leaders. So here we go. We've got a good leader here in the person of Gardenia. Don't forget.
Yeah.
I just plugged that in before we leave. Yeah.
So don't go anywhere. Stick and stay. We will be back shortly after this short commercial break.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Yeah. Everybody gon' be safe. Everybody gon' be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up. Yeah. Cause no man's alone. Do what's right. Alright. Cause I love you. Brother, my sister. And we're in this together. My sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose ya. I love you too much, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up to roll out.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Did you know high heels were first worn by men? Ooh. Although stilettos and heels are broadly associated with women, men used to wear heels long before women. Men's heels have gone through varied cultural meanings, symbolizing high society stature, military prowess, refined fashionable taste, and the height of cool. Without further ado, we let the men strut their stuff on the catwalk of history in our Looking Back segment for today. So strut, fellas, strut.
You guys had to take the heels too. I see what happened. You know, we started a trend and you came along and you took it and you owned it. Okay. I like the way you're looking back in history.
Jamie, so tomorrow you have to come in your high heels.
I have to come in my high heels? Yeah. I don't have high heels, Kortensia.
You don't have cowboy boots?
All right, so we're looking at Persian soldiers who were the first to discover that heeled shoes helped their feet stay in their stirrups and gave them the stability they needed to shoot their bows and arrows. Ooh, that is a gorgeous pair. I wonder how much that would auction for today.
Those look like dinosaur feet. Those look very uncomfortable. You don't find?
Well, they're in the stirrups, aren't they? So they're, it doesn't matter. It's not like they're walking, right?
Their toes were probably in pain once they came out.
As women are, as the toes of women are today.
No,
I see you guys walking in the streets, and your shoes look good, and you're walking, and you're crawling, and you're, I don't know, boy.
Hear me?
I see.
No.
I just don't say, except for today. Interesting
stuff. So we're
stuff.
walking and crawling in our high heels.
Interesting stuff, I tell you. Interesting stuff.
By the 17th century, 1-inch heels were the norm for Parisian riders on and off their horses. Since owning horses was a symbol of wealth, heeled shoes came to signify money and power. Jesus.
I have seen that shoe in town on a woman's foot, I swear. Does
Why
not
you gotta
look it.
come for the women?
Because you own the heels now. Am I wrong?
I know, but those...
Interesting pair.
But we wore shoes like those to school back in the day when...
You see?
Yeah, but only now
You
everybody's
see?
like flat. Literally, but we wore our heels to school, yeah.
Yeah, because you guys got wiser. It's more comfortable. It's healthier. Hey, who knows? Louis XIV was perhaps the most famous wearer of heels in history. Under Louis's rule, the higher and redder the heel, the more powerful the wearer. In 1670, he passed an edict that stated that only nobility could wear heels. The red heel was symbolic. It showed that its wearer was rich enough not to dirty his shoes and that he was powerful enough to crush his enemies under his foot. How symbolic.
I know, but those shoes are back in style,
Those
you realize?
red ones though, those red ones. Can I see those red ones again? Is that possible?
Maybe.
I'd love to see those red ones again.
Gucci and I think maybe
Oh my gosh, really?
LV. Yeah, those shoes are back
Oh,
like that.
I missed the picture to the right of the red heels.
Look, even his gown sort of kind of have one of the symbols
His-
that Louis Vuitton uses. if
His
you realize.
gown and
Yeah.
his heels. Thank you for that commentary, Kortensia.
But it looks like a gown. Shoes became increasingly gendered throughout the 18th century. Women's shoes became narrower, more ornamental, and the heels higher, whereas men's shoes became broader and sturdier. Consequently, men stopped wearing heels around the 1730s as a reaction against their perceived feminization.
Kudos, men in the 1730s. Thank you so much for that. I would say oui, oui. All right, the French Revolution in 1789 put a definitive end to the noble usage of male heels. However, some lifestyles still accepted the wearing of male heels, rather. The cowboy is a perfect example.
Yeah, cowboy shoes have a little heel.
Yeah, but you don't notice the heel for the rest of the shoe, the proportion.
Yeah.
You really don't
are
notice the heel,
correct,
do you?
You are correct.
Yeah, exactly.
But with the shape of that shoes, the heel really complements it, yeah. Makes it a bit more comfortable for the wearer.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you need a pair of cowboys.
I'm trying to remember what my boots look like. I don't think my heels were that big. And not cowboy boots either, by the way. Talking about winter boots.
The Beatles helped popularize the Cuban heel in the 1960s and 70s. Beatle boots, as they were called, were a variant of the Chelsea boots, tight-fitting ankle-high boots with a sharp, pointed toe and Cuban heels.
Beetle boots.
Beetle
Can we say that
boots.
3 times?
Beetle boots, Beetle boots, Beetle boots.
You see where I'm getting at here? All right.
Like we're calling Beetlejuice. Remember Beetlejuice?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Beetle boots, Beetle boots, Beetle boots. So funny. All right, so David Bowie famously pushed the boundaries of gendered fashion. Everybody loves David Bowie, right? So he did this throughout his career. He was known for wearing all manner of heels, all manner of heels. From sky-high stilettos to platform shoes. Yeah.
Fashion at its best. Boys.
The word faux pas comes to mind. I'm sorry, I'm just saying, it's my opinion. I'm sure that worked for David Bowie. It clearly did.
It worked.
All right.
And finally, by the 1990s, heels, particularly in the form of the Cuban heel, had come to symbolize a certain kind of rough rocker aesthetic. So yeah, rocker heels. Rock on.
Yeah, naturally. We got the heels. So what we know is that men's heels once symbolized power, wealth, and masculinity. However, today they tend to push the boundaries of binary gender norms. So can you imagine all of this stuff about heels? Wow.
Well, everybody's wearing heels these days. Men still do wear heels, and some men, look when we watch RuPaul Drag Race.
See my face?
The men walk in the heels better than us sometimes.
But look at what you said. You said men still wear heels. Look at RuPaul's, what's that word?
Drag Race.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but...
So when he or she is wearing the heels in that circumstance, he or she is no longer a he. Just say, hey, that's my
He is
take
a
on it.
he, but he's just showing us women that this is how you walk. Sashay. Sashay.
So you want a man to show you how you walk in heels because men were the first ones to wear
Maybe,
heels?
yeah. So maybe
I
he can do it better. We can learn and we can all be better.
I see. Something that
See,
you
gender
said.
equality.
Gender equality has nothing to do with heels. So sorry. Gender equality has nothing to do with heels. As a matter of fact, you know what? Gender. I might get in trouble for this. I don't want to get in any trouble for this. You realize what happened with the shoes? Oh, you said here, it's feminine. You can take it. Yeah.
But no.
That happens.
Sashay. And those heels. Yeah.
Guys, we want to know, seriously, did you know that men were the first ones to wear heels? If you didn't know that and you said, you know what, you learned something new, hop on our social media pages and let us know. If you knew that, and you have even more interesting pictures to show us or a cute story about maybe what your dad or granddad used to look like in the heels that he or she wore, share it with us at Studio 327 Inc. I can tell you I have no such pictures.
But do you remember, I think it's Poland, where the guys do wear the traditional heels?
They do, okay.
The clogs.
The clogs, okay,
Yeah.
the clogs.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember about the clogs is Urkel. That's it, sorry. That's all I remember on Family Matters with Urkel doing all these things, including yodeling.
Yodeling and his...
So clogs and yodeling go together, apparently.
What is this thing called again? Is it
The accordion.
harmonic? Accordion, yeah. The harmonic
You
is
remember the
small one.
accordion, yeah. It's
Of
amazing
course.
how we transitioned from heels to Jaleel White's character in Family Matters and the clogs and everything else that he represented.
Yep.
Yeah. Stefan, however, never wore heels. Just saying.
Raquel? Ooh, no.
Heels. I don't know how you ladies do it. How do you? Well, actually, I do know how you do it because you obstruct me when I'm driving on 4th Street. You don't use the sidewalks. No, you become like cars because that road is flatter than the sidewalk that you have to walk on, and you don't want to lose a heel.
No, we don't want to lose a heel, and plus we have to
Interesting.
walk perfectly along the most popular street in St. Kitts, in the middle of the capital.
Is that what really happens, guys?
So we have to.
Is that what you do? That's what
walk
happens when I see you?
And strut our stuff the best.
You're strutting your stuff on 4th Street. Okay, I see. And you're stopping traffic, but not in a good way.
Good way. Listen. But the most uncomfortable shoes I'm told are the LVs. Because you go down, Louis Vuittons, you go down.
Oh,
and you come
wow.
up.
Okay, you see the lingo.
Yeah. And it's funny that the shoes that we're wearing now, to me, it's kind of spoiling our feet. Because if it's too narrow, you get the twist. So yeah, shoes are becoming more and more fashionable. But for me as a woman, a tad uncomfortable.
Ah, okay. At least we have a confession here.
Yeah.
Your shoes are uncomfortable sometimes. As we
Sometimes.
suspected.
Not today.
Just watching.
Today
Yeah.
I am comfortable. Although I'm wearing heels. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I gotta say this. You look good. That's great. We appreciate how great you look in your heels. I gotta say though, we feel the pain when you can't walk in your heels, and we know that you can't walk in your heels, or you're walking very slowly, or you change your shoes because you look good on the outside, but on the inside it's more practical to ditch your heels. We get it.
Yes. We
You're
have to maintain the look.
causes. Maintain
Yeah.
the look. I see. So it's about the look.
It's about the look.
Well, guess what? You're gonna keep looking at us because we're gonna go to a break, but we'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cook today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't called me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me
Let
go!
go what? Yeah, let's see what really happened. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
The weekend mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Kitts, Nevis, with the name for us I represent for the Ministry of Health. Yeah. Respect the COVID protocols. In a time like this, all for one for all. St. Kitts, Nevis. Don't forget your mask. Wear it everywhere you go. Sanitize before and after everything you do. Cause you never know what's on the surface or the places to go. Maintain a safe social distance between me and you. Keep calm and stay focused. Don't be a fool, seek the facts first. And boost your immune system up. Don't wanna lose no more of us. Mask up, furlough, sanitize, observe the protocols all about. Be wise, mask up, furlough, sanitize. Me family fitting boat. Blessed love and greetings. This is Infamous, and I am here to encourage every Kittitian and Nivision to remember that we have our part to play in the fight against COVID-19. So sanitize, wear your face mask, practice social distancing, and go and get vaccinated. For me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Easy no man.
You can lower your salt intake by reducing salty foods, removing table salt, and using salt alternatives when cooking.
Salt is an important part of the human diet, but most of us consume more than we realize.
Self-health management refers to the measures people take to manage their own health. You and I should remember to wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Take your temperature morning and evening. Watch for symptoms. Persons with diabetes or hypertension are reminded to take your medication regularly as prescribed. If you have no symptoms, you may carry out your normal routine and boost your immune system. When you are outside, avoid public spaces and wear a mask at all times. If you develop symptoms, put on a mask and seek medical care. Do not take public transportation. Inform the doctor of your travel history, any contact with confirmed or suspected cases, your occupation, and whether anyone around you has similar symptoms. If you become ill, please rest at home. Wear a mask and isolate yourself from others in your household. If you share a bathroom, disinfect daily using 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. Everyone must work together to reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. I enrich Heine said, "Where words leave off, music begins." Musicians employ the use of melody, harmony, rhythm, and tempo, as well as instrumental or vocal sounds as a means of self-expression. For the listener, songs are a means of escape. They explain emotions that we ourselves can't seem to put into words. And above all, music is a source of comfort. Today on Good Morning SKN's Expressions, we warmly welcome Zoo Music, a local recording artist, to our studio. Welcome, Zoo Music. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me, man. Good morning. I'm good.
Man, I love the relaxed vibe that I'm getting from you. I can't wait to get into, all about your music. And we know for a fact that you recently released your song, Be Black. We have a clip of it. We're going to listen to it. We're going to watch it. And as we wait, we know that we're all black, so that works. We don't have to be black.
That was an amazing shot.
Yeah, I was just thinking that the drone worked, yeah.
Your boy Zo, keeping it true. Yo, the rose that grew from concrete, heart full of love, but love is so obsolete. Rest in peace, Floyd, they kill him right on the concrete. Cops never cared, the killer's right in the heartbeat. Foot on his neck till he couldn't breathe. Screaming out for mom, so you know he weak. Saw it for myself, man, I couldn't sleep. If you're black plus from the ghetto, you gotta watch police. Cuff you when you're gone, plant them drugs on you. Reaching for your wallet, put them slugs in you. Why they envy us? Cause we so regal. From creation, we the first and richest people. But they can't break us, so they contaminate the food and never gave us acres, as they promised. Why you treat us like garbage? Turn around and try to tell me that slavery's abolished. Can't understand it. Sunday to Monday, I'm gonna be black. Monday to Tuesday, I'm gonna be black. Tuesday to Wednesday, I'm gonna be black. No matter if we under attack, be black. Wednesday to Thursday, I'm gonna be black. Thursday to Friday, I'm gonna be black.
So much to talk about in that. Yeah. So much to talk about in that. But first of all, looking back at that, what was going through your mind?
I was just in a state of mind, like, I just want to do something to represent our people. You know what I mean? I just want to put myself out there to show people that even though we're not going through what they're going through in America and other bigger countries, that we have family members out there, we have friends out there going to college. They could be caught up in the same situation. Yeah. So for me, I just wanted to represent for everybody that's out there going through that struggle, whether it's my family, friends, people I don't know. I really felt a connection with what was happening.
Yeah, and you captured it really well, I have to say, because just the title alone, Be Black, what does that mean to you, Be Black?
Yeah, just be yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean be black as in you have to be black people, but like be you, you know what I mean? Whether you're black, Chinese, be yourself, you know what I mean? Represent who you are, stand up predominantly within your race, within what you believe in. So that's just basically what I mean. Yeah.
So what has the feedback been like for Be Black?
Oh, amazing. Like, I've been getting love from all over the world. Like, people, whoever come across the video, been hitting me up and telling me, like, yo, like, this is amazing. We love what you did. We want to see more of this type of stuff happening. So it's been great, yeah.
So I have one more question. Sure. Are you one of the featured artists for the music festival, or you have to keep that on the wraps until the reveal?
I don't have to keep it on the wraps. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
We got question marks here right now coming up over you, right? Like, what? Why not?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So we're putting it out there. Yeah, definitely. I looked at that video, and it's just phenomenal to me. I mean, first of all, the camera work is exceptional. The way that you captured everything locally in the shot, great as well. Local people.
Yeah.
Representing different walks of life.
Yeah.
I love that. But the music.
Yeah.
The lyrics.
Yeah.
The melody. Where did that talent come from?
I just think like music is in me, you know? It just took a time for me to tap into myself, you know? Like, knowledge of self is a huge thing for me, especially growing up, I was always a little bit confused in where I'm gonna go, what I really love to do. And the minute that I tapped into music, it was like, this is who I am.
Okay.
So like the lyrics, everything is just pure because, you know, I took the right direction with doing music, not just for the fame or anything like that. Like I have an honest connection with it. So yeah.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Definitely self-expression.
Yeah.
Comes out.
So give us some insight on your experience as it relates to being comfortable in your own skin.
In terms of being comfortable?
Yeah, in your own skin.
Oh, yeah, I'm very comfortable. I think that everything that I've been through is what molded me into who I am today. You know what I'm saying? So every aspect of me, whether I was in America at the time, like I used to travel a lot before the pandemic, of course. So like every walk of life has some sort of connection with me. Like I take everything with me. I learn from every aspect of life, either if it's not from me, if it's from someone else, I always pay attention to what's going on.
Well, we did some digging and we realized that the first time you posted a video on your Facebook page was back in 2016.
Yeah.
And you remember what that was?
I don't remember what it was, but I think it was a freestyle, if I can recall.
Freestyle. Did your love of music and you're delving into that creative expression, letting people know, well, this is what I can do with Zoom music. Did it begin there or did it begin much earlier?
Oh, it began much earlier. My grandfather and uncle, they both played in the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force. So music has always been in my blood from ever since. The only difference is I started playing the drums first as a kid. And as I, got older, then I transitioned into, because I knew I had something to say. So I transitioned into the mic, you know what I mean? And I expressed myself that way.
You definitely have a message that's going to resound with a lot of people.
Yeah.
The next thing I want to know is, do you find that your message, especially the one in Be Black, does it resonate with younger people? Does it resonate with older people? Does it resonate with people of any ethnicity, anywhere?
Yeah, it resonates with everyone. The only difference is for me is if they're cognizant of it, if they're paying attention to it. If you are paying attention and you're serious about life and in terms of what's happening in today's world, like you would definitely connect with my music, and not just Be Black, but like everything else that I have going on. As long as you experience that, or if you're open-minded, you would definitely connect with my music a lot.
And you heard it here from Zoom Music.
Yeah.
You did.
Indeed. Persons don't really know, or I should say consider, the creativity and the time that goes into a music video and the audio production. Could you break that down for us?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of work. Like my process is probably different from a lot of other artists. Like I'm the type of person that would get up at 2 in the morning. I would like get a few hours rest and get up at 2. And when like the whole world is sleeping, that's when I write. It's so quiet, it's peaceful. I don't know, but that's just the time I tap into my creative process. And then I still have to get up to go to work the next morning. You know what I'm saying? I be jotting down notes. Sometimes I'm driving, I just shoot myself a little voice note just to remember like a flow, like certain things that you have to do to, keep that passion, to keep that that resonance that you want to put out there. It's just always a work in progress. And in terms of the videos, like it's so much work to put in because you have to capture so much. You have to take so many time thinking that this is a deadline that you're going to release it by. That deadline comes and it's like it's not ready. Have to shoot more. You know what I'm saying? So it's really hectic.
So for the video Be Black, how long did it take you to finish the shoot for it? Well, the video, I should say.
Like 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah, like
that was a day.
Nah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
4 months. We took a lot of footage of people, and what you saw there was just what we chose to highlight.
Oh, so there's more.
So much.
Oh,
so
okay.
I could have put out behind the scenes or whatever I chose. I could still do it.
Yeah,
because it's so much. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Something that you said that I want to pick up on before we go to this break. You have to go to work in the morning. So this is what you do part-time?
Well, yeah.
No way. No. Too much time. No, I don't believe you. We'll be back in a moment with Zoom Music. Stay tuned, everyone.
Yeah.
Most people consume excess salt from processed foods, such as snack foods, processed meats, instant meals, and condiments.
Instead, use fresh vegetables, ground provision, fresh meats, and natural herb seasonings, just like our grandparents did, and just like you did with this soup. We are Salt Smart.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom. But my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You not live clean. Your girl at 16, and your daughter at 13. So girl look me, but me no inna that. Big man no deal with back pan back.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care of yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are continuing our discussion with Zoom Music, a local recording artist. You say my music will tell you more about me and more about me than I ever will. Has it always been easier for you to express yourself through song than conversation?
Yeah and no, because sometimes it's like conversations you could ask a question, I might go dive deeper into what I probably not want to speak about, but music now I could kind of let the foundation, what I'm saying, conversation will be a lot more in depth, but I can handle myself, of course.
Oh, you can see that.
Yeah.
All right, so we were talking about, your other releases and the projects that you have going on. You have 5 projects going on at this time. And you mentioned one in particular, Fragments of Love.
Oh, yeah.
What resonates with you about Fragments of Love, and what do you want the general public to know about it?
Oh, well, for me, that was just that was just for me as a young man being vulnerable. You know, I'm just showing guys, just young people in general, like it's okay to have feelings, it's okay to care, it's okay to speak about things that's troubling, it's okay to have had conversations for relationships. Like, you know, we don't have to run from the fact that we care for somebody.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, that's all Fragments of Love is all about. So I just touched on a lot of different situations regarding love. That's why I call it Fragments. You know? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know you said that you started composing music a while back, as it was an outlet of release for you, but can you give us the exact year that you started?
Yeah, 2011.
Okay.
2011, that's when I actually sat down and said, like, this is what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I took my time. I took like 4 or 5 years before I actually put out a project, because I just wanted, I didn't want to rush it. I didn't want to come on the scene and be like, hey, look at me, I'm just another rapper. I wanted to make sure when I come on the scene that I leave some sort of, I leave something with you, that you could see this is genuine, you could feel it, and yeah, that's all I wanted as an introduction.
So let's talk about your personal style, because you're in a field, you know, there's rap. There are a lot of rappers, as you said, and you want to take time to hone your craft. How do you think you fit into that field, or how do you think you stand out? And which one of those things are you aiming for, if any?
I think that I do stand out, and that's because I feel like a lot of people run with what's popular, and I feel like for me, I try not to do that. I just want to be myself. I want to speak on things that resonates with me. You know what I mean? I don't want to just jump on a train just because it's popping and everyone's loving that. No, I'm gonna get to that at some point by just being myself. You know what I'm saying? So that's
So can you share with us some of your long-term goals as an artist?
Oh, for sure. And one of them, like we just spoke about, is performing at the music festival, because that's like the biggest stage, you know, so hopefully they tap into me sooner than later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's short term, but that's still, you know, one of my long-term goals. And outside of that is just being able to do music full time and travel the world and meet new people and actually build music from scratch with an actual band. And, you know, these are stuff that I want to do and just take it to the next level.
I can't believe that you do this part-time.
Yeah.
I still cannot believe that you do this part-time. What do you have to say to anybody who is thinking, you know, hey, I want to get into music, I'm a young person, but I have a job, I have obligations, and I don't have the time to do what I really want to do? What was your experience? What do you say to them?
Well, I don't think I would say something to them. I would ask them a question like, how bad do you really love this music? Like, do you really love it? Because if you really love something, you're going to make time for it, regardless of what you have going on. You know what I mean? If you love your mom, you're going to find time to call her or see her, whether you have a lot of work-related stuff going on. Like, no matter what it is happening in your life, you're going to find time. So my thing is, if you don't really love it, then you're not going to do it. If you really love it, no matter what you have going on, you're going to always find time to put that work in. Even if it's 10 minutes to write 3-4 bars and come back to that 10 minutes later again, or 2-3 hours later to write 3 more bars, like, you're going to make time.
I want to delve a little bit behind the scenes with you and take us back in time to your first original production, the team that was around you, supporting you, the feedback that you got, and things that you might have had to work on and change in order to develop.
Which was Hear Me Out. I think that's my first actual project that I put out, and everything was amazing. The only thing for me, I still had this, like, I still had jitters about it because it's my first project. I didn't know what people was gonna think, you know, but the support system that I had around me, which was my homeboy, 87, he made all the beats. So he actually helped me a lot in terms of just helping me to build that confidence and show me, like, yo, like, this work that you're doing is amazing. Don't doubt it. People's gonna love it. You just have to, you know, show them why they should listen to this project. And everything just been amazing since then.
So your homeboy is giving you feedback, he's supporting you.
Yeah.
As that support grew, when did you say, you know what, I'm really doing what I ought to be doing because people are responding to it?
Fragments of Love. So that's 2019. Like after that project, I had a release party for the project, and like after that, it was just amazing. Everyone was just showing me mad love. People was having conversations with me personally about what they're going through. So it's like, now I understand this is what I'm supposed to be doing, making a solid impact. So that, not just making music that people, love to listen to, it sounds good on the ears, but things that's gonna spark a conversation, are gonna make people have had conversations, as I told you before. So that's when I knew like, this is something bigger than what I thought it would be, So I'm grateful that I have that inspiration to make such a project.
Great stuff. Now, I want to push this music festival thing back, right?
Yeah.
So has your team contacted the music festival committee in any way in any of the years? Because you've been around, well, you were around pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
So, well, since 2016. So
Yeah.
has your team ever tried to contact the music festival committee?
Well, we had conversations before, For me, to be honest with you, before, I thought I was ready, but to be honest, I weren't, because I didn't have that enough material.
Okay.
Now I think is the right time, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's not this time, next year, the year after that, I just know that I can manfully go on the stage and do a half an hour set, because I have material. I'm much more confident. I have great material as well, not just a few songs that I could actually do, but I have material that I could actually stand on, and I could make much more of an impact that I can today than I would have 2-3 years ago. So I'm not even, I was worried about it before, like, damn, why didn't get on the show, but now I'm like, I wasn't ready. Now I'm ready though.
Okay, so you heard it here first. It's Ready Music Festival.
And before we go, I want to give you the opportunity to look into that camera, let people know about Zoo Music, where they can find your music, social media pages, that sort of thing, contact information. Take it away, Zoo Music.
Oh, for sure. So you can always look for me on Instagram. I'm mostly on Instagram, Facebook sometimes, but mostly Instagram, so you can follow me. That's zoo.zinatra, so that's ZU.ZINATRA. You could also hit me up on Twitter, so that's zoo_Zinatra. And on Facebook, it's just Zoo Music. So I'm not hard to find at all. And don't forget to check out my latest Freestyle Fell Off, and my whole catalog is on iTunes, Spotify, Deezer. Just check them out.
Not hard to find, very easy to listen to, great to talk to. Thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, our pleasure. More Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
Children, how can you tell a tsunami coming?
Teacher me.
Sammy?
My mother said when uncle jump in the pool and the water spoosh out, that's how you tell a tsunami coming.
Settle down, children, settle down. Do you remember our tsunami song?
Yes! Mommy, uncle not here in the other shake.
Hush your mouth.
Daddy, uncle not here and the sea gone.
Who cares? You don't see all them free fish? Quick, give me the bag.
This is how you tell a tsunami a come. Teacher says so. I would have failed in school, you know.
Sammy, come, let me go. They would have failed anyhow. Let me run, see, Sammy?
Where are you going? I just mopped the floor and now the chair leaving marks all over the place. Come on, go in bed, see? Sometimes I just can't take you on.
Violence is expressed in many ways. Most, unfortunately, go unreported or unaddressed for many reasons. If you or someone disabled is being abused, contact the police at 465-2241, social services at 467-1314, or the St. Kitts Nevis Association of Disabled Persons at 465-2151, 663-9077, or 663-4116. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
As a hypertensive patient, in my home, I reduce salt intake by not adding salt during the preparation of my food, not having a salt shaker on my table, limiting the consumption of salty snacks, and choosing products with low sodium content. That's why I am salt smart.
And we're back. Thank you for staying with us here at Good Morning SKN. And we are on our final segment. And on this segment, we let you know what is happening. So I'm going to say gentlemen first today.
Alrighty, that's
Take
fine.
it away.
I'll take it. I mean, I'm not wearing the heels, so it's fine. I can do that. All right, so there's a free health screening. The St. Kitts Health Promotion Unit, in collaboration with Taiwan ICDF, will be hosting a free health screening tomorrow, Friday, the 18th of March. Screening will include height and weight checks, hip and waist measurements, BMI body mass index check, a blood, sugar, and blood pressure checks, breast examinations, and kidney checks. The event will take place at the Independence Square. Knowing your health is important, so go out and carry a friend with you and get screened. Yeah.
So me and you, we is going to that.
And get screened.
Yeah. You heard me say we is going to that.
Yeah, I did.
Secondly, nominations open for 25 remarkable teens. The Department of Youth have opened nominations for their 25 Remarkable Teens program. This program presents teens from within the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis awards in non-conventional categories such as excelling through challenges, spirit of hope, leadership, volunteerism, and so much more. This program only caters to teens. This program caters to teens younger than 13 years old and no older than 19 years of age. So Jamie, we can't go. We can't be remarkable anymore.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. You're as young as you feel.
So don't hesitate. Nominate a teen. The nomination period is from 14th March to 27th May 2022. Forms are available at all secondary schools and at the Department of Youth in both St. Kitts and Nevis. So nominate your remarkable teen.
I love the way that this one just sails into the next one, because remarkable teen, can I get a howl for Teen Wolf maybe? Guess what, guys? There's a full moon party, all right? There's a full moon dance party tomorrow, Friday, March 18th at 7 p.m. on the beach at Krishy Beach Club, restaurant and lounge. There will be a bonfire, love it, food and drink specials, a 360 photo booth, and 4 different DJs. And these DJs include DJ Maya, DJ T, DJ Jamaica, and DJ Heading. So those are the 4. For EC $20, $20, you believe it, $20, you will be able to enjoy this party on the beach. There is also a prepaid VIP area and transport services available. To find out more about this event, the VIP option and transport services, contact 3959. Very important people, the VIP section.
Yeah, so us and our VIP selves will be going over to
Imagine
Nevis
that.
on the
No,
island.
I'm reserving that for the
Beach.
people with heels, all right? Apparently that, we learned that elevated the status not too long ago.
Oh
So, hey,
my
there you go.
gosh.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. And what time is it now? Oh my gosh.
That time.
That
but not
time?
that time. Yeah.
That time? Really?
But not that time.
No, it ain't that time yet.
That's what I say. It's that time, but it's not that time. So what were your favorite parts of the show today?
My favorite parts of the show. Yeah, it's almost that time. Favorite parts of the show, every part, I think, beginning to end, it's really what it is, And now that we've got our final roughly 3 minutes left on the show, this is where we get to say, thank you for joining us today.
We had a magnificent show, and we could not have had it without you. So thank you to our viewing audience.
Yep.
Listening and viewing.
Yeah, we have avid supporters out there. We know that you guys are spreading the word about us, so we know that we don't have to tell you, but we'll tell you anyway to remember to follow us on social media. Our social media platforms are TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, and even TikTok. And our handle is very easy to remember. It's Studio 327 Inc. That's Studio 327 INC. Of course, you know what I'm going to say next if you have been watching us. It's going to be an invitation for you to like, subscribe, and follow us on our social media platforms. Let people know, that we're here, that we're doing what it is that we do for you daily.
And to get more content, because as Mr. Bridgewater said, we are a very educational show, and I found that too, that I've learned a lot since I've been here about St.
Nice.
Kitts that I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely right.
So we invite you to leave us a comment and tell us what topics and guests you'd like to see next.
Are you kidding? Yeah,
This is the part?
This is not the part yet.
Okay,
We're going to say, hey, you know what? We've invited you to leave comments. We're going to invite you again to leave more comments. Let's
Tell us what's in your cup.
What's in the cup? I've been begging for the sunrise photos.
Or the sundown.
If you are up early, I know that we started it, so maybe some of you were just rolling out of bed when we began. But, if you happen to get up early, let us know wherever in the world you are watching.
Yeah, wherever in the world.
Take a picture of the sun. We'll give you a shout out. All right? Because we want to know where you're watching too. So leave us a comment, let us know that. And as Kortensia said, if you have someone that you think would be a great guest for us, they're doing something phenomenal in their area, in their field, in their community, and you think that they deserve some traction, let us know again at Studio 327 Inc. You can also email us at info@studio327inc.com. So don't forget that, Studio 327, #GMSKN.
And is this the time, or this is not the time?
I guess this is the time.
Aw, where we have to leave you. We
This is
didn't
where we
want
say
to.
goodbye. Right?
But guess what? We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, when it's what? Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday?
TGIF.
I tried it on Monday. I'm not saying yay anymore.
No, it doesn't work for Monday as we were told.
Every day is supposed to be yay because we're here
Yeah,
with
we're
you.
up.
It's supposed to be a yay day, no matter what day it is. That's what I'm saying.
No.
All right.
No. So tomorrow, it's a yay day.
I tried.
Yeah, the day before the start of the weekend, or today's the start of the weekend.
Yeah, we're looking to, no, tomorrow is the start of the weekend.
Yeah. So this is where we say
Goodbye.
See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. when you start your morning with us here at Good Morning SKN. Have a great day, guys.
Bye.